Hi, my name is Hinra Fu, and I'm here to give you a short video about how to use your soft palette to sing. Now, I look a little bit sweaty. I've just been to training. I wanted to shoot this video out as soon as possible, just to get it to those people who have asked me on Reddit, you know, how do you use your soft palette? How are you supposed to produce a note so that it comes out nice and clear and you don't tire your voice out, you can get higher in your range, you can produce more volume, and so you use your soft palette to resonate that, or help that note resonate. I am a music teacher. I've been a music teacher since 2001, and I'm a classically trained pianist and vocalist. I also play guitar, drums and bass, and I'm filming this in my very, very new studio that I've not finished setting up. You can see there's an empty desk there, so hopefully more to see there later. So let's get to singing. Now, most of your untrained singers will push their main volume from here and from their throat, and they'll try and sing, but just loud, like they're talking loud, and they'll put a note on it. So what they'll do is they'll go la, and they'll sing a la note, and they'll, I've been around the world, and you get that scratchy throat. Now, even your really good singers that use that throat production of a note aren't going to sing as well as somebody who's got a basic understanding of how to produce a note properly. So if you take a really basic song like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, twinkle twinkle little star, how I wonder what you are, and I'm trying to push that from the throat, and it's really difficult for me because I've spent a lot of time avoiding singing like that. So if we do want to sing with it, it will sound like this. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I wonder what you are. It can also, even though I've used the correct technique, it can sound a little rocky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And I'm actually producing that note in the same way. Think of it like a cake. The technique of singing the note correctly is your actual cake. How it sounds at the end of it has a lot to do with the icing you put on top of that cake. It's the finish. So how do we sing with the soft palate? So first of all, the soft palate, for those of you who don't know, is the soft membrane towards the back of the roof of your mouth. You can find it quite easily by taking your thumb, putting it behind your teeth, and just gently sliding your thumb back, and you'll find that the roof of your mouth goes from being hard to soft. So I'll just show you. And for me, it takes most of my thumb to get back there. So that's what's going to resonate. Now, how do you do that? Well, I can force that, and I can force the note up to resonate in that soft palate with a technique. So what I do is I put the tongue on the roof of my mouth, and I make this sound. Now, if I do that, and I hold that note, and if you're trying this at home, pick a note that's in the middle of your range. If you do this, you should feel it vibrating, and you should feel it vibrating around here. Now, if you push that note forward, if you use your muscles to try and push it forward, what you can do is you can actually move that vibration right to the end of your notes, and it will sound more nasal than it has in the past. So, what I want you to do is I want you to try this, pause the video, whatever. I'd like you to do that now. Okay, so hopefully you've had a bit of a play around with that. When you are doing this, I'd like you to also think about where it's vibrating. A lot of people will feel it on the top of their head. A lot of people will feel it on the tip of their nose, the bridge of their nose, their cheeks, even the base of your skull. You'll feel this vibration, and what that means is that you're not just pushing the note from your throat, you're using your entire head to resonate that sound, which means that you're going to get more volume. Think about the difference between an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar. The acoustic guitar has a great big box and a hole, so it's going to resonate more. The electric guitar needs to be amplified. The same goes for an opera singer versus a singer who just sings with a microphone all the time. The opera singer will be able to fill a concert hall unmiked easily because of the fact that their technique is right on point. They use all of their body to produce the sound. Much in the same way a baby will cry, they use their entire body to produce that sound to let everybody know something is wrong. The same deal goes for an opera singer. They use their entire body to produce this note. So, when you make that sound, and if you're a girl, it's going to sound in the falsetto. Guys, you can do this too, it's fun. What you do is you put your hand in front of your mouth and you can feel that there's no air coming out. And that happens because of the fact that the air is being blocked by your tongue. You've actually closed off the throat. And you should feel a little bit of air coming out your nose because that's the only passage for that air to come out. If you don't feel air coming out, that's okay. Ideally, you don't want to be breathing a lot of air out when you're singing. You actually want to keep it nice and, so that you're not breathing out. You want to keep that oxygen in your lungs. Now, to produce this note with the soft palate, what you then do is you go, and what you do is you just drop that tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Now, the trick is to, when you drop that tongue away, keep that vibration going in the roof of your mouth, in that soft palate. You should be able to feel it. If you can't, it's going to be a case of practice. Even if you can, it's still going to be a case of practicing. You see, when you produce a note like this, it's different to every way that you've tried to produce a note previously. Every way that you've ever spoken, shouted, talked, whispered, it never uses the soft palate in the same way. Professions like teachers might do it unconsciously if they're shouting across the yard. Over time, they learn, again, unconsciously, that they produce a louder note if they allow those muscles to become engaged. Drill sergeants in the army, I imagine, would use this every day, or else they'd lose their voice. So, getting back to that production of the note, you need to practice it. So, and you practice it with different vowel sounds as well. And as you practice it through these different vowel sounds, you learn how it feels, because singing is about feeling. I can feel when I'm about to make a note that's out of tune before I actually make that note, because the muscles in my throat, in my head, they're not in the right position. You can also feel when a note is out of tune, when you are singing out of tune, because the fluctuations in the wavelength, they're not right, and you can feel it in your body. So when you're making a note using the operatic technique of singing with your soft palate, you've got to make sure that you are keeping those resonations up in your nasal cavity, in that soft palate. So we do that by practicing that technique. And we do that 20 minutes a day, 3 times a day. So 20 minutes, 3 times a day. By doing that, you will get better at it, but not quickly. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you are going to get better at singing within a week. It doesn't happen. You're unlearning however many years you've been alive of how to produce a note. So don't get disconcerted if you can't get singing with your soft palate straight away. You've got to give yourself time. And I would say it would take months of training like this for a singer to be able to untrain the bad habits and train in the good ones. So if I was to sing a piece of music, Hallelujah, 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 you may not want to sing like that. And you go, all right, Hinrifu, I don't want to sing like a classically trained musician. I don't want to sound like an opera singer. I want to sing Billy Joel. I want to sing AC/DC. I want to sing, I don't know, Uptown Funk. It doesn't matter. You produce the note in the same way. So if you want to play a bit of Billy Joel, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to a tonic and gin. I produce the note in the same way, but it doesn't sound like an opera singer. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to a tonic and gin. Very 17th century, but it's totally not the style of Billy Joel. So what I'm getting at is that just because you sing and you produce your note with the technique of an opera singer doesn't mean that you have to sound like an opera singer. So my advice to you, if you're learning to sing and you need to use that soft palate, put the tongue to the roof of your mouth, make that sound, get it buzzing in the front of your face, feel it around, try and get those vibrations happening, drop the tongue away from the roof of your mouth and try to keep those vibrations going. You will lose a lot of them, that's okay, so long as you can try and keep that resonance in the top of your mouth, in that soft palate. As I say, I advise 20 minutes a time, 3 times a day, every day. It's a muscle. You've got to train a muscle. Anyway, fulfilling my obligations to some random thread where somebody asked me on Reddit, can you make a little video showing us how it's done? There it is. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye.